Hello, I'm Tracy Ball.
And I'm Tim George. Welcome to Ball State, the Year in Review.
For the next several minutes, we'll highlight the events which shaped our campus over the past year.
1990 was a great year for Ball State as we made it to the Sweet 16 in basketball, watched an alumnus on the silver screen, and reached the quarter-century mark as a university.
That's right, it's silver anniversary time, as 25 years ago, Ball State Teachers College became Ball State University.
President Emmons had told us that when our enrollment hit 10,000, then he would ask for our status to change from that of Teachers College to Ball State University. And that he did. We hit that magic mark in the fall of '64, and the legislature made the change in February of '65. Now, at that time, we were growing rapidly. Classroom space was very much a premium. For example, north of Riverside Avenue, we did have the Practical Arts Building. We had the Music and English and Emmons Auditorium. We had University Gymnasium. And then, other than the residence halls, there were no other buildings north of Riverside. No library, no Whitinger building, no architecture building, and of course, neither the Bell building or the Ball building were in existence at that time.
The 1989-90 fall enrollment was slightly above that in 1965, as 18,900 students attended classes. More than 19,000 students were expected for the 90-91 school year, as Ball State continues to be a popular choice for Indiana high school graduates.
A bit longer than 25 years ago, the administration building was dedicated. It was August of 1899 to be exact. As the only campus building at what was then called Eastern Indiana Normal University, it housed classrooms, a chapel, the college auditorium, and even the president's living quarters. Now, thanks to a $4 million renovation project, the administration building will soon look much as it did at the turn of the century. A complete exterior and interior renovation is taking place in 4 phases over the next 5 years. The president, however, plans to maintain his private residence off campus.
Along with the university celebration comes the 25th anniversary of the College of Architecture and Planning. A huge cake in the shape of the present architecture building and the original Quonset hut classrooms was cut as part of the celebration. In addition, plans for an alumni terrace were unveiled, and several alumni planted a commemorative tree.
Beside anniversaries, another major event took place this year when Ball State celebrated Canada Year. Leading celebrities and government officials, including the former Canadian ambassador to the United Nations, as well as Robert McNeil, co-anchor of the McNeil-Lehrer Report, visited the campus and participated in lectures, exhibits, and cultural events. The celebration, which will be followed by Europe Year in 1991, is part of the effort to make Ball State a more international campus.
For 9 Ball State students, the desire for an international education allowed them to be part of history in the making. The students, who were participating in an educational exchange program, witnessed firsthand the uprising of Chinese citizens during the Tiananmen Square demonstrations. The students, along with 6 faculty members, were safe in Shanghai during the protest, but returned with stories of tension and unrest throughout the country.
The streets, you could walk down the middle of the street in the middle of the day. No traffic at all. There were buses blockading some intersections, and they had taken barriers to separate the road from the bicycle paths. They put those across the road.
After the first feelings that they told us about it were over with, we didn't feel scared or worried or anything like that.
The Asian Study program, which is offered each year, also allowed students to visit Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan, along with the historic trip to China that will not be forgotten.
Approximately 5,600 students and staff were inoculated after the State Board of Health declared a measles emergency on the campus. The mass inoculations began after a case of the old-fashioned measles was confirmed in a Ball State student. Because the virus is highly contagious, The Board of Health considers one case to be an outbreak and reason enough to immunize the entire campus community.
While many students spend their spring break chugging beer on the beach in Florida, 20 Ball State students donated their time to build a house in South Carolina for victims of Hurricane Hugo. The students, members of the Ball State chapter of Habitat for Humanity, began by prefabricating wall sections and roof trusses on campus. To help fund the trip, students sold studograms, which allowed persons to donate money and then personally sign their name or message onto a wall stud. These wall studs, along with the other prefabricated parts, were then shipped to Sumter, South Carolina for construction.
I think the students overall are surprised at how quickly the house came together. The majority of them have never been around home construction before, and they've had this opportunity to see how something's put together. I think all of them have learned a great deal in terms of construction and how things work. I think the other thing that really was a highlight of the week was yesterday when we were able to get the McGee family here, present them with some gifts that we had, and walk through the home with them and begin to just get a sense that it really was a home.
The students are members of the Ball State chapter of Habitat for Humanity, an international organization dedicated to eliminating substandard housing.
It was another banner season for Ball State athletics. For the second straight year, we captured the Reese Trophy, awarded to the MAC Conference School with the best combined record in men's sports.
Our men's volleyball team finished third in the nation while appearing in the NCAA Final Four for the 8th time in 10 years. Also, the football team won the MAC Conference Championship and for the first time went to the California Raisin Bowl.
But the highlight of the sporting year occurred in a miraculous 3 seconds that words cannot describe.
It won't be long before several Cardinal teams will have a new place to call home. The public received its first glimpse of the new Ball State Arena during a ceremony in Indianapolis to unveil the architect's model. The 12,000-seat arena is the final phase of Ball State's new health, physical activity, and arena complex. Scheduled to open in 1991, it was funded by the Wings for the Future campaign, which has reached approximately $30 million in its second year.
Ball State athletes had a new cardinal for their uniforms in 1990, and the university had a new logo. The design was selected from over 180 entries submitted from throughout the nation in a contest won by William L. Villarreal, a 1977 Ball State graduate now living in New York. The new logo will be used on all Ball State athletic uniforms, T-shirts, and other paraphernalia.
Physics sounds like a boring subject to many students, but not when it's taught at more than 200 miles an hour. The Indiana Corporation for Science and Technology awarded a team of Ball State researchers a grant of nearly $100,000 to develop Physics at the 500, a video learning tool which describes how the laws of physics are at work on a race car. 5 60-second programs will be created to be part of an interactive exhibit at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. While describing such principles as the Doppler effect and friction, the use of a race car demonstrates physics principles in an exciting way, which is designed to attract young people to the field. The project is scheduled to be completed by May of next year.
With Jim Davis and David Letterman among its famous alumni, Ball State is well represented in the entertainment world. But another Ball State star is rising.
It wasn't exactly a silver screen. It actually was several bed sheets sewn together. And there was no popcorn and soft drinks. But the dive-in movie held at the Llewellyn Aquatic Center was certainly a splashing success. The audience floated in inner tubes while watching the horror classic Creature from the Black Lagoon. The event was designed to promote aquatic fitness and was later followed up by a showing of Jaws, which featured the added attraction of underwater speakers.
Our finale may not be as exciting as that of Jaws, but it was a spectacular year for the university and one that will be remembered.
We hope you've enjoyed looking back at the events which created a thrilling and historic year. Thanks for joining us.
So long, everyone.